product set will become more and more sophisticated in China. So that helps my businesses very, very well. The type of foods that the Chinese consumer eats and demands are becoming more sophisticated. For example, the wine market. I'm a New Zealander. We export an enormous amount of dairy product. We see the profile of dairy product in China rapidly changing and rapidly growing. So that's moving with a change in the structure of Chinese consumer society and the demands that those new middle-class consumers are having. So some people are saying, well, you may be looking at a slowdown in China. Sure, but what are we talking about? We may be talking about a slowdown from somewhere around 8% to somewhere around 7% or slightly below that. That's still very healthy growth as far as I'm concerned. There are many, many investment opportunities that will come out of the growth in China that are quite different to the investment opportunities that have been there in the last, shall we say, 20 years, which have really been more opportunities around developing the export opportunities from China. Now, as the internal market really starts to take off more rapidly, the investment profile will be different, in my opinion, and offer significant opportunity. I don't think many people realize how rapidly Indonesia has been growing in the last 10 years. In fact, if you look at some data, it would tell you that Indonesia has been the second fastest growing country in the world after China in the last decade. I don't see that slowing down. In fact, I see it speeding up. Well, our organisation structure in Asia, when Asia was sitting mostly, sort of as an export profile, if you like, was very much at the manufacturing end of the supply chain. So what we're doing now is, yes, we are restructuring, right, and we're moving now to much more of a commercial profile in our business in Asia. So we still have the supply chain there, but we're probably doing more outsourcing today and spending more of our effort in the distribution part of the supply chain, working with the customers and understanding the customer's needs, listening to the voice of the customer, and working much harder at that end of the supply chain. It will be far easier for us to take advantage with the regional agreements than it is with bilaterals. Because the problem with bilaterals and the noodle bowl is that if you are trying to export to all of the countries of Asia Pacific, for example, let's say that you are one of the 21 and you're exporting to 20 other countries, and you may find that the regulations that you're dealing with are different in all of those 21 economies. That is terribly complex for businesses to deal with. And we talked about complexity of supply chains. That just adds to the complexity of supply chains. So if you've got regional agreements that cover 10 or 12 or hopefully one day 21 economies, you take a great deal of that complexity away. That reduces cost, it reduces waste, it makes things more available, because companies will make their products more available if there is less complexity to deal with.